Ever wonder why it's so incredibly hard to make a good habit stick? You are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to dive into a simple, science-backed formula that is going to completely change the way you think about building habits. You know how it is, right? You start the year with this awesome plan. You're going to exercise more, save money, be super productive. But then, just a few weeks in, you're kind of right back where you started. It is such a frustrating cycle, and it's easy to feel like it's a personal failure. And I bet I know what you're thinking. Ugh, it's my fault. I just don't have enough willpower. But what if I told you that's not the real story? What if the reason your habits don't stick has almost nothing to do with your motivation and everything to do with your strategy? Okay, so let's talk about something I call the willpower trap. It's this really common mistake we all make, thinking we can just brute force our way to better habits. But here's the thing. Our brains are just not designed to work that way. Think of your brain less like a muscle you can just flex and more like a super efficient garden. The pathways for your habits, they're like paths through that garden. The more you use a path, the wider and clearer it gets. But if you stop using one, it gets overgrown and basically disappears. That's called synaptic pruning. So building a new habit isn't about forcing your way through the weeds. It's about engineering a new, clear path. So if willpower is the trap, what's the way out? Well, it's a beautifully simple system that works with your brain's natural wiring, not against it. Okay, you ready for this? Here's the formula that changes everything. After I do X, I will do Y. That's it. X is a habit you already have, and Y is the new, tiny little habit you want to add. It is so simple, it's kind of brilliant, right? Now, this isn't just a clever phrase. It's actually based on some groundbreaking research from Stanford's B.J. Fogg. His model says that for any behavior to happen, you need three things: motivation, ability, and a prompt. Our little formula is so powerful because it nails two of those. By making the new habit tiny, we make the ability part super easy. And by linking it to an existing habit, we get a perfect automatic prompt every single time. All right, so let's break this down a bit more. There are really two key pieces that make this formula work, what we call anchors and chains. So first up is your anchor. An anchor habit is something you already do every single day completely on autopilot. It's a solid, reliable behavior that can act as the trigger for your new habit. You know, it's the X in our formula. And you have dozens of these already, I promise. Just think about it for a second. Getting out of bed, brewing your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, sitting down at your desk. These are perfect, non-negotiable anchors you can literally latch a new behavior onto. So once you have your anchor, you can start building what we call a habit train or habit stack. It's like setting up a line of dominoes. Each tiny habit you complete automatically knocks over the next one, creating this incredible chain reaction of positive behavior. And you know, here's where it gets really, really cool from a neuroscience perspective. Every time you complete your little habit chain, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. But over time, your brain actually starts to anticipate the reward, and it shifts that dopamine release to the start of the chain. So you literally start to crave doing the entire routine. It's wild. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's look at some real-world examples because this system is so flexible and so powerful across all the different parts of your life. So for your health, after I brush my teeth, I will drink 1 glass of water. Simple. For your finances, after I get my paycheck, I will transfer 10% into savings. Done. For work, after I finish a meeting, I will send 1 follow-up message. See how easy that is? What's one tiny habit you could add to your life right now? Now, to really make these new habits stick, there are a few golden rules. First, you have to start ridiculously small, like so small it feels almost silly. Second, use anchors that are super reliable and specific. Third, focus on building the sequence first, not the intensity. And finally, celebrate the fact that you did it, not how perfectly you did it. Completion over perfection, always. All right, you ready to give this a shot yourself? Let's actually walk through how you could build a couple of really powerful routines to bookend your day, one for the morning and one for the evening. So here's a great example of a morning stock. It starts with a physical action, making the bed, which gives you a quick win. That triggers hydration. Then you get some sunlight, which helps your biology. And finally, you end with a moment of mindfulness. You see how it creates this upward spiral of positive momentum to kickstart your entire day? And you can do the exact same thing at night. This evening stack turns the chore of cleanup into preparation for tomorrow. And that last step, plugging your phone in across the room, that is a brilliant little hack to cue yourself to wind down without mindlessly scrolling for an hour.
But what if it isn't working? This is your troubleshooting guide. There are really only two main problems. If you keep forgetting to do the habit, your anchor is probably too vague. The fix? Make it more specific, like after I close my laptop for the day. Now, if you're procrastinating, it's because your new habit is still too big. The fix is simple. Shrink it down until it feels absolutely effortless. I'm talking do one squat easy.
So, as we start to wrap up here, I really want you to shift your mindset. This isn't about one-off behaviors or trying really hard for a week. It's about building your own personal system for success. This quote from author James Clear says it all perfectly. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. Look, good intentions are great, but they're fleeting. A well-designed system, though, that will catch you, especially on the days when your motivation is zero. These habit stacks are the system that makes good behavior practically inevitable. And here's the final secret ingredient, and it is so important. Emotions create habits. So immediately after you complete your new tiny habit, you need to celebrate. Seriously, a little fist pump or just saying yes out loud. That feeling of success tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's do that again. This little celebration wires the habit in faster than almost anything else. So I'll leave you with this one question. Forget about the grand, ambitious plans for just a moment. Looking at your day and at all the anchors you already have, what is the one tiny, ridiculously small link that you can add to your chain starting today?